So, hello everyone. Today we are going to see one more sorting algorithm, that is indirect sorting method. So, what is indirect sorting? Basically, as the name itself suggests, it is not direct sorting, but it's indirect. So, what is the weightage of indirect word here is what we see. So, we know that all these days we have been using sorting algorithms only on given set of elements, either character or an integer kind of thing. So which is least used anyway, just for the learning purpose we have just given elements as input. But in the real time scenario we give records as input to get it sorted. So what do I mean by that? As the slide itself says, suppose we have payroll records, and that payroll record has got a huge amount of data which is a structure, and which we call each of the data present tagged together as a record. So as the slide says, it would be name, address, phone number, financial information such as salary, tax information, etc. Now you want to sort these records. How do you sort it? So you have to pick one unique element in the record. For example, the phone number, because two people cannot have the same phone number. Technically. So we will take phone number as the key element to sort things, and we will sort them. Now assume the complexity involved in this sorting. If you use the whole structure, in the sense if you use a set of n records to sort, the basic algorithm of any sorting algorithm is swapping elements, right? So assume the amount of space required by the algorithm to sort. If you are sorting records, technically it is highly infeasible. Then how do we sort the structures is what we have to see. So to do that, what we have to adopt is the indirect sorting method. So what is the meaning of indirect sorting method? Suppose you have a set of records as you see now. So what is indirect sorting algorithm suggesting us to do? It is suggesting us to have a pointer. So pointer consumes a very small space. So you can have one pointer array, and each of the pointer in the array will be pointing to one record, right? Now you take key element as the main point for sorting. Then you sort the whole structure of records using the pointers. So in the second diagram, you are clearly seeing that, or start from the first diagram. So P0 is pointing to 100, P1 is pointing to ID 500, P2 is pointing to ID 300, and so on. As you clearly see, the records are unsorted. Now we have to sort it. So if you have to manually sort it, what do you have to do? You have to swap the records. And we have understood that is highly infeasible. So what do? We use pointers and apply a quicksort algorithm on this to sort the pointers quickly, not the records. Please underline this in your minds. So we will sort the pointers only, which you are seeing here. Once we sort the pointers, you see the difference between diagram 1 and diagram 2. So P0 is pointing to the right index of the array where the records are stored, that is P0 is pointing to A0, and P1 is correctly pointing to where the second record should exist, that is the second record after sorting should exist in P of 1, technically speaking A of 1. So second record which should come in A of 1, or the second position, is residing at A of 3, and P2 fortunately is sorted already. Then P3 is pointing to A4. That means in A of 3 the record in E of 4 should come here. And coming to the last one, P of 4 is pointing to E of 1, meaning that in A of 4, whatever record is existing in A of 1 should be pointing or should be residing. This is what is the meaning of indirect sorting. So what we have done, we have just assigned one pointer to each of the index in the array, and we have run a quick sort on the pointers. So we get this diagram. So this is what the theory says. Then after this, we will see the algorithm for the indirect sorting. To start with, we have a template here, and you see what is happening. Comparable is just an element which will store the element which has been removed from the index, which is wrongly sitting in that particular index. Okay, so you have an operator to see whether it is less than or greater than. It is just a self-explanatory thing. We'll go on to the next slide here after this. Elements. After this, if the elements are residing at the same place where the pointer is pointing to, you have got two more statements. P of j is equal to temp and p of j is equal to ampersand of j. So this is what is the meaning of this algorithm. Now we'll take an example and see, say the previous elements. Now you see, after sorting this, look at the diagram here. So the first 2 points, so one loop to assign the pointers to the index elements and run a quick sort. Once you do this, you have got this particular arrangement. So p naught is pointing to 1001, p1 is pointing to 1000, and so on. So now we'll see the iteration one after the other. So technically this should have been the position of the array, but what is currently here is p naught is pointing to 1000, p1 is pointing to 1001. This should have been the case, and after you sort it, p naught is pointing to 1001, p1 is pointing to 1000, so on. Okay, now we will that once I move 100 to its place, I will just copy 200 to its place where I have vacated directly. No, that would be a blunder. Why would it be a blunder? Because you never know whether the element residing at E of 0 has to be put in E of 1, or generally speaking, when you start with a particular index and find that the element in that index is not in the right place, next point what you do, you find the right element which is being pointed by the pointer, then you pick that element and copy onto that index what you are currently pointing to, but you are not swapping the element. Swapping in the sense, whatever is there in temp will go to the place where the pointer was earlier pointing to. Why? Because we are not sure whether that element which is residing in the temp is not actually fitting into that. Whether if it is fitting into that is what we don't know actually. That's the reason we will not swap the elements. Instead, what same point you see, p of 1 is pointing to a of 0. That means we have to the I of 1, right? So is p of 1 not equal to a of 1? No, they both are pointing to the same thing. That means we don't have to do anything. So the iteration when I is equal to 1 is not necessary for us to do. Then go back to the outer loop again, increment I becomes 2 now. So is p of 2 not equal to a of 2? Now we can see they both, a of 2 is 1002, p of 2 is 1004. So they both are not the same address. That means the element that should have resided at a of 2 is not in a of 2. It is somewhere else. That somewhere else is pointed by p of 2. Fine. So when you get this condition, what you have to do, you have to just lift the element which is there in E of 2, that is 400, and keep it in a temporary variable temp. So that is what we have done here. Now I is 2 and j will also be 2. Now once you copy 400 to temporary variable, come to the inner loop. So j is equal to 2 to start with, initialize it. Now is p of 2 not equal to address of e of 2? Definitely it is not equal to that. Come inside the for loop, find the actual position of the element which should reside in E of 2. How do you find it? Next of j is equal to p of j minus base address. What happens here? P of j 1004, base address 1000. So 1004 minus 1000, we will give 4. That means we have got the right information that the element which should reside at E of 2 is residing at E of 4. Correct? So the current element which was there at A of 2 is 400. The current element which should actually reside in A of 2 is residing at E of 4. That hint is given to us by the pointer P of 2. Right? Once you get that, what you do, you just copy that element 300 onto E of 2. So that is what you are seeing. Star of P of J. J is 4 here. So J is 4. You can just copy that element here, right? And alter the point accordingly. Once you do that, your job is done. So, right. After this, 300 is copied. Remember the temporary variable which is 400 is still not copied. As I have already told you, we will not swap the elements, because if you swap again, you will put the burden on the algorithm to sort linearly. So that should not happen, right? So what do we do now? Go back to the loop again. So we now see that J has got the value 4. So now you see, is P of 4 not equal to A of I? Right, it is not equal to A of I. That means come inside. Now see P of J. What is P of J? 1003. 1003 minus base address 1000 will give me 3. Now that is the information that the algorithm has given, that the element which should actually reside at E of 4 is residing at A of 3. Now once you find this information, now you will adjust the value in A of, you can see here, right? They both are pointing to the same points as of now. So you will not go inside this, come out of the loop here. Now you just alter it. So A of J, that is A of 3, will get whatever is in temp. What is in temp? 400 is in temp. Copy that and adjust the pointer P3. So in the last statement, adjust the pointer P3 to 1003. So this is the end of the story of India.